Greetings and welcome back to Pasta with Pasta. Today, not a request day. Today we are making, well, in Germany we call it Geschnetzeltes, which is pretty much some cut up meat, some mushrooms, onions in a creamy sauce. For that, today, besides our regular pasta, we will need some chicken breast or turkey breast, whichever you may prefer. You can even go with sliced pork. I would recommend pork fillet if you are going for that. We will need some mushrooms, a red onion, some good mustard. I would recommend Dijon mustard as per usual because I like it quite a bit. We will need some salt for the pasta water. There we go. We will need some oil for frying. Some cream. And in terms of seasoning, today we will need some vegetable soup stock or chicken soup stock, whichever you have, ground. White pepper, because it's a creamy sauce. As well as some herbs. I prefer thyme, rosemary, and some ground garlic. This is it for the ingredients, and now let's start. So, today let's start with putting salt into the pasta water and then turn on the stove. Maximum level on the right plate, hopefully. Yes, it is the right plate. Put the lid on top so it cooks faster. And now we can prepare the ingredients. Let me get a paper towel. Right, first of all, onion needs to be peeled. Oop. There we go. Get rid of all the woody parts you don't like. There we go. Onion. Nice. Right, next, the shrooms. There we go. That's how I like them. Okay, I need to cut off a little bit of the stems. Not much though, because these are quite fresh, as you can see by them being closed around here. So, yeah, this is quite nice. That I can do later. Yeah, let me do this now and only cut back to you afterwards. I cut the stems off and cleaned them a bit where necessary. Now I can start actually cutting them. I won't do slices this time because those are quite small ones. So I will just cut them into quarters. Put them into the little bowl here for later use, because I still have to prepare the chicken, and the water is slowly coming along, as you can see. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind my schedule, but I can manage, I hope. Yeah, nah, very small. This one only needs to get be halved. There we go. Now the onion needs to get cut as well. For that I will do quarters and then just little slices like this. Not too small slices, because I like to taste the onion when I got it in my sauce. So I really need an adhesive board. This one's floating around all on my stove and I don't like that. Anyways, okay. I cut the onions without even really getting hurtful for me. Okay, now chicken. Flotch. I don't really like those bits like these with all the fat and the veins or whatever. So I will just cut them off. Go on now. There we go. That goes into the garbage. And got a bit over here. And the water started boiling. Okay. Haven't even started with the sauce, so the water I will keep boiling. And one more over here, yes. And there we go. Awesome. Right. There is more. No, that's an onion. Okay. Cool. I think I will do this. Now I need to cut the chicken into small pieces as well. And that is what you need a sharp knife for. Because cutting meat, especially chicken, isn't that easy. You really need a sharp knife. A stump knife, yeah, have fun with that. At least with the chicken. There we go. Okay, now pieces like this should suffice. They don't need to be overly small. Well, it all comes down to your particular taste, I guess. Like a centimeter, like 2 to 4 square centimeters, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but let's turn the heat on the water down to about 2/3, where it will stay when I add the pasta. So yeah, perfect. Boop. And boop. Oh, I missed a little bit here, so let's get rid of that. There we go. Cut it into small pieces. That one is alright. That one can be a bit smaller. Get rid of that. And this, and now we got it. Okay, cool. So, I have to clean the stove under this, so let me do that and get back to you in a second and get rid of all the stuff here and clean my hands and all the things. Now we can actually start on the sauce. So I will need a little bit of oil, which I totally didn't leave behind on the table and had to get right now. About a tablespoon will do. And now to turn on the stove on that, I'm getting on 7.5 of 9, so not the full heat, only a bit of that. Water is still boiling, still not doing the actual putting the pasta in, because fusilli do need, one moment. Oh no, I thought they needed 7 minutes, they need 11, so let's prepare that. There we go, for later. Bit of heat going on, right. Oil needs to be flattened out a bit. I can insert the onions. The meat will go a little bit later, but onions and mushrooms we put in first. Whoop. And as you can see, this is quite a big bunch I'm making. This is enough for at least 2 portions. The problem is, I can't get cream in smaller portions than this, which is not good. So I have to always use it to make 2 portions. What you can do though, if you're only cooking for yourself, take half of the sauce you're getting and put it in the fridge with some rice or some more pasta, and you can eat it the next day. You don't want to keep it for more than a day, even in the fridge. It won't really be good for you. So yeah, You can put half of it in the fridge, eat it the next day. That's what I'm doing anyways. So yeah, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Or 2 mouths fed with 1 bunch of pasta. Or 1 bunch of sauce. I'm rambling. Yeah, some heat coming there. Yeah, I will now fry the shrooms and the onions. They will shrink quite a bit because the mushrooms are made mostly out of water. Keep the heat not to a maximum level, but like I have about between 2/3 and full throttle, 75% or something. Yeah, I will fry it and show you how it has to look in a few minutes. Oh, and don't forget to stir occasionally. That is quite important. So now, after a few minutes where it's violently frying, as you can see, the mushrooms and the onions have gotten a little bit of color, which is exactly like I want to have them. So I can now add the meat. Whoop. In there you go. Get rid of the board. And now we need to stir and fry the meat so it's cooked thoroughly. So it's well done. As I said in an earlier episode, never do chicken rare or medium rare or something. It has to be well done. Anyways, now we can add the pasta. So water is still boiling. Put away the lid. Take the pasta, put it in there. Start the timer and stir occasionally. Get rid of that. So let's stir. Leave that. Right. Okay, I will now turn down the heat. Now I'm on 2/3. Wow, this is quite loud. It will be more silent when I add the cream later, but first of all I have to cook the meat, or at least have it fried from all sides. Right. The pasta water is now on 2/3 as well, as we have done earlier. Just as a reminder that you don't cook it on maximum level. Right, I don't see any pinkish bits anymore, so now let's get rid of the noise by adding the cream. Ah, silence. Finally. Right, well. So, what I will do now is spicing. So, ground soup stock is what I use for regulating my salt levels. For this much I will take 1.5 teaspoons and see where things go. You can always use more salt later, so don't use too much. White pepper, add to your liking, so if you don't like it spicy, don't add too much. Although white pepper is more about aroma than actually getting it spicy. Ground garlic. Thyme. There isn't much coming out, so I have to shake it a little bit more often. As Myrta pointed out when I was in Britain the other week, I like my herbs and spices. I like to use them a lot. Yeah, so yeah, she pointed that out and she's totally right on that. Oh, rosemary, don't forget about that. Yeah, but as you can see, not many flakes coming out of there. So yeah, if you don't like them as much, of course, use less. There we go. Now we want to cook it a little bit, so we get a nice creamy sauce, and the rest of the meat gets cooked to being well done. Should be well done right now, but just to be sure, leave it on about 2/3 as well, just like the pasta. You just have to be careful as it is cooking right here and making bubbles. The cream may rise up, especially in a normal pot. If you don't do that in a non-sticky frying pan, it's not as violently, I think, but it can climb up and then roll around the side. It has quite a will of its own, I suppose. Yeah, anyway, stir the sauce occasionally, as well as the pasta. And yeah, I shall now wait a few minutes and see where the sauce is going. And I will then taste the sauce and see if it needs more spices. Not that much time has passed. I totally forgot to add the mustard, which is quite an important part because it gives a lot of flavor to the sauce. So I will add a good heaped teaspoon and a bit more. Be careful. I think 1 or 1.5 teaspoons could be enough. I will have to see, but I like my mustard. I know my tolerance to mustard taste in sauces, so I suggest you being a little bit more careful with that and see where 1 teaspoon leads you. Taste a little bit later when you mix everything thoroughly, when the sauce has cooked a bit, and you can still add more later, but don't add too much right at the beginning. Always add more later if needed. Right, back to the cutting now. So the sauce has now a nice creamy consistency, so I will turn down the heat to 1/3, so it just stays warm and cooks a little bit more, but not as violently. The pasta stays on the level where it is, and I can now take another spoon and give that a taste, so I can see where we are heading in terms of spices. This is now, there is enough salt in it, and the mustard is not too dominant, so yeah, I think 2 teaspoons was the way to go. What you can do as well, if you want to enhance the flavor, either you use a little bit of white wine, or you can use a little bit of tomato paste. It's entirely optional though. It works without that as well. It works without mustard as well, but it's always good to have a little bit of sourness in a creamy sauce, so that it isn't too saturating. If you have a little bit of sourness in there, it tastes more freshly, it tastes more like it's not filling you up with one bite. Just as a little bit of advice. Hashtag pasta advice. There is such a thing. Anyways, see you again in about 2.5 minutes. Right. Timer is nearly gone now, so turn down the heat on all stoves. And I shall see you back at my table when I'm ready to serve. And here we go, pasta with Geschnetzeltes. I certainly hope you like it. Something different every now and then. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you want to post a request, which I can do in the next few weeks, then just post it down in the comments below, and with a little bit of luck I might be doing that the next time. Anyways, if you liked, comment, share, subscribe and like, and I certainly hope to see you next time as well then. So, until then, yours faithfully, the Pastafarian.